Let's talk about liquidity. If you are a private company that offers equity to your employees, liquidity is often a problem. Private companies have a lot of great advantages to offer their employees. It can be exciting to work for a startup. It's often a very fast-paced environment, and employees are working on interesting and challenging problems. And if the company offers equity to its employees, the wealth creation opportunities for those employees, if the company goes public, can be life-changing. But until then, there is no market for the company's stock, which brings us to the liquidity problem. While the company is private, there is no way for employees to easily sell their stock and realize a return on those equity arrangements. And in today's environment, where private companies are taking sometimes 10 years or longer to go public, this can really build up over time until it is a significant concern. Enter the tender offer. So what is a tender offer? This is an arrangement where a buyer, it could be an investor or the company, simply goes out to shareholders and offers to buy their stock. There are lots of different circumstances when tender offers are used, one of which you might have heard of is the hostile takeover, where an investor goes to the market, launches a tender offer, and tries to acquire enough stock from shareholders that they have a majority ownership of the company. That is not what we are talking about today. In today's video, I'm talking about a private company that wants to offer liquidity to its employees. So it arranges for a tender offer in which they can sell their stock. Why would a private company do this? Well, one reason I've already talked about, liquidity. Particularly if the company has been private for a number of years, employees may have debt, they may have other investments they're interested in, and the tender offer allows them to get some cash out of their equity awards so that they can meet those obligations. And it can be a great way to reward employees for their loyalty and for the work that they're doing for the company. Now, any company that wants to offer a tender offer to its employees has three primary decisions to make about the tender offer. The first is, who will be the sellers? Who's going to be allowed to sell their stock in the tender offer? Obviously employees, but it could also include former employees, consultants, outside directors. There might even be some long-term investors in the company that would really like to get a return on their investment. A second question here around the sellers is, how much stock can they sell? Can they sell all of their stock or maybe just a portion of it? There's usually a limit on how much stock the buyer is willing to purchase. That limit will typically drive the answers to both of these questions. Which brings us to the next question. Who is going to buy all of this stock? And there's two choices here. In some cases, it might be the company. Oftentimes, when private companies arrange for tender offers for their employees, the company is the buyer. Now, obviously, if the company is the buyer, the company needs to make sure it has enough cash to buy all of that stock. And there could be some other considerations. For example, if the company has qualified small business stock, the tender offer might affect the status of that stock. And another alternative would be for the company to find an outside investor to buy the stock. Now, one challenge here might be finding that investor, but if the company can find an investor willing to do it, this can be a great solution because it allows employees to sell their stock without requiring the company to use its own cash to buy that stock. Of course, a disadvantage here is that outside investor might end up with a significant amount of control over the company. And then the last primary decision to make will be, what exactly are the terms of the offer? And there are lots of questions that need to be answered here, like, what's the offer price? How long is the offer going to be outstanding? What types of equity arrangements are employees allowed to sell in the offer? Can they, for example, can they sell stock they acquired under ISOs in the offer? How long do they have to have held the stock that they are acquiring? Or that they're selling in the offer. There are lots and lots of decisions to be made here, much more than what we have time to go through in this short video. But guess what? The NASBB has a great webinar called Understanding and Managing Tender Offers. Everything that I've covered in this video, I learned in that webinar, and it answers all of those questions. It talks about all those questions. It goes into more detail on everything. It covers things that I haven't mentioned, like how do you actually manage this program and how do you educate employees about the offer? If you are thinking about arranging for a tender offer for your employees, this webinar is a great place to start. We'll include a link in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you're notified when we post new videos. Heck, even if you didn't like it, subscribe anyway. Maybe you'll like the next one. Thanks for watching.